um, I think, um, maybe just a bit. We might have maybe won. Um, Let me just get my fucking ears torn out. Anointed Procession? Archon. Anointed Procession. Get two of them. Boop and boop. Flip the Growing Rites. A few more sandworms. Essentially, if he draws into any of the Binding Light, Excellence Binding, anything like that, we're fucked. But the odds of that are actually semi-decent. Yeah. What we can do, however, is something along the lines of this. I want to make sure we're using Lithophon. Because now even if he does attack, when fucking Sandworm as well. God, fuck it, I hate the noise that shit makes. Yeah, so we do want to do that. You see, we can now Paradox Engine, and I'm not entirely sure how we're going to win this game, to be quite honest. Although his Sandworms can't... although his creatures can't attack, they can still block. I would really like to get some form of, like, duplicate Sandworms convergence. I'd also like to fucking turn the volume down. Which I can actually do. Yeah, he's got to pay what, like, how much is this? Because, no, we can't. There's no reason to. It would just be until end of turn. He's also just spamming emotes because no idea. We are still really holding out. I want a Mirror Maid. It's perfect. The fucking timing. I'm not entirely sure why this thing looks so fucked, to be honest. Why these are not stacking, why these are not stacking, more importantly. We're now getting 16 a turn. Oh god. Search your library for any number of god cards. I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think he has any, if we're being honest. Yarok. Why not? There's literally no reason to copy it. Also, the funny thing is, he actually did this to himself. He could have attacked with everything before I played the first Sandworm, but he decided to sort of bring me down to the lowest health he possibly could, which was 6. If he brought it down any lower, then it wouldn't go into like 0, I think. I'm fairly sure, at least. So, essentially, this is kind of his fault. And what's his highest one up to now? 28. I mean, we are literally one fling off of dying at this point. We are, of course, going to copy everything. You see, the main issue is because we've been Paradox and Lith forming, most of what we have are tokens, also obviously the Quasi. So even if we did manage to dupe a Urian, we can't actually sort of take these to gain a load of life. We can, however, gain, 16, and then 3 is 30, and 18 is 48. So 48 life every single time, but no, it's not, it's 96, because obviously Yarok. So we go from 6 health to 104. 104? 102. Yeah, 102, sorry. And he's just going to continue to spam in those because just fucking retard moment. We need something that isn't veto. We need some form of offensive life gain that is each opponent rather than target opponent, which normally doesn't make any difference because I don't think Arena has ever done a mode that has more than one player. Sorry, more than one opponent. I don't think they ever have. Maybe they do, but I don't really pay attention to events anymore. Kind of too much. You know, you have to build one deck for it, and you know, I just can't be fucked. You know, I just want to come in with this monstrosity. But yeah, veto is probably a lot less powerful in actual paper, because they do sometimes have more than one opponent, and you know, though veto can give a shit ton of you know, because it's per health rather than per instance of health. It can do a shitload of damage, but at the same time, he's actually got 4 of them. God, that is fucking painful ears. So is he just play? Yeah, he is. He's playing 100% enchantments, which, you know, it's interesting to say the least. Even if it does fucking hurt me ears. What do we want to duplicate? Do we take Anointed Procession? Oh, we could. So that will give us, what, 16 is it? 2, 4, 8, 16, yeah. Okay, 32. 32 tokens per token we create is just ridiculously bullshit. Once again, there's this is only showing up green because the auto tapper. Sorry, no, it's not even the auto tapper. It's literally just how the card works. You have to take green per creature. So it's always going to say, hey, you've got, you know, the mana to play the augmenter, but you know, if we're being completely honest, what is an 8/8 going to do in this situation where, you know, I have nearly 100 5/5s and he has, you know, things going up to 40s and 40s and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I think if we're being completely honest, his the only way he can win right now, it might just be if it ropes me. Oh, I know why. I know exactly why. We've gone from creating 4 to creating 32, which is trying to trigger, what, 96? It's trying to trigger 96 of Johnny's Welcome per each of these, so we have essentially got 4 times more, is it? Oh, no, it's not. It's not trying to do 96, is it? It's trying to do 192, is it? Yeah, 192. Obviously, I keep forgetting about Yarok. So it's trying to give us, what, 800 health, and the game simply cannot handle it. Um, so this might actually fuck us. And there we go. Um, I don't know who would have won that. Um, I think I had, if we're being completely honest, I think I won that. Um, if you're going off of, like, you know, the Ajani's welcomes giving us, you know, we would have ended this turn on about 900 health, and the number of uh, Archons, the number of Archons combined with the number of Sandworm convergences meant that the majority of his board couldn't attack anyway, and the fact that the Anointed Processions and the Sandworms were making more Sandworms per turn than he was, even if his were more powerful, unless he found a way to give them trample, I would always have the blockers, potentially to kill them, but definitely to block them. That is, if he somehow managed to deal with all of the Archons. So essentially, he was unable to attack, but he was also, as far as I'm aware, and I have not seen inside of his deck, as well as being unable to attack us, he was unable to gain life. Which means, okay, yes, while he did have a, you know, in any other circumstance, a rather intimidating board, his life total was next to nothing, which means we could have easily won. He would have had a very, very hard time winning. If any one of those cards that we drew into, if that was offensive life gain, we win. Simple as that. Obviously, we didn't, and it ends in a draw. But yeah, if we would have drawn into, I've not got any to sort of show. But yeah, if we would have drawn into any offensive life gain, it would be 6 for playing each card, I believe, yeah. So he would have lost 6, and then duplicated by the engine would have been 12, so he would have lost 18, and then the, you know, the actual original card. Sorry, let me say that again. Okay, so if we play the card offensive life gain, the first lithoform copy would have done 6, because upon entering battlefield, triggers 3 Ajani's welcomes into. Sorry, I should explain this a tiny bit. This line here, copy target permanent spell. You are copying the spell. Anointed Procession is whenever it creates tokens. Essentially, because you are copying a spell, you're not creating a token copy of the creature. These are not token copies of this creature. They are entirely separate spells that have been played, but are just visually and sort of gameplay wise, they are tokens, but because it is a spell that was created, it doesn't trigger this. It's kind of a bit bullshitty, and like one of those pedantic things that just magic in general. But yeah, so this thing, we play the offensive life gain, you know, like Epicure of Blood, and then we can do the 4, which would sort of play 1 copy, which would trigger the 3 twice, which is 6, which does 6 damage to him. And then, as that is resolving, the spell that we played originally has sort of brought up a stack. It is, sorry, the actual creature spell at the bottom, and then on top of that is the Paradox engine. And so once we get the first creature copy, once we get that first copy, it will, you know, do the 6 damage. And then as it's resolving, the next ability to resolve is the Paradox engine itself, which would untap the Lithoform engine, which means we can take another copy, which would deal, it would create a second token. The second token triggers this 6 more times. Because we now have 2 of that, for every instance of life gain, which in this case is 6, he loses 2 health, which means it does 12 damage, which means he has lost 6 and then the 12, and then the next thing to resolve is the actual creature itself, which, you know, comes in, triggers this 6 more times. Doesn't matter if it deals the full 18 damage, because he doesn't need to take 18 damage to lose, he only needs to take 2 more, which means we win. So basically, we were one spell off of winning. He, well, here's the thing. He had 22 cards left in his deck. Let's just, for argument's sake, let's say he does have a full board wipe. He goes full, I can't remember any of them, to be honest. Not just like Kaya's Wrath. He goes full, is it Ruinous Ultimatum? Is one of them. Wipes the entire board. No enchantments, no creatures, no artifacts. Even if he did that, yes, he does have the mana advantage, I believe, if we don't have any creatures to trigger this for. But he only has 22 cards. We can already see he has played all of his Sandworm convergences. He probably has one more of these at least. He probably has another one of those at least. Maybe he's got 4 of these and 4 of these. Not entirely sure. But what I'm trying to say is, he's not going to have any more Sandworms. He might have some more of these, but it's going to be sort of greatly diminished. His ability to put shit onto the board is going to be a lot lower. Sure, it would probably still be more powerful than we are, but I mean, if we could pull off a echoing equalization, if we could get some sort of combo with that, it would once again instantly kill him. And sort of, I don't know. I think it would be very hard. If we're being honest, because he's not going to have a Ruinous Ultimatum or anything. I highly doubt he would do that. Yeah, okay, he's got Shatter the Sky. I don't know how we... Oh, I remember. Sorry. Yeah, no, we milled him. That's also another thing. He managed to Ixalan's Binding out our veto. Which wouldn't have really been useful anyway, because target opponent, and he's got 2 of these. But yeah, he would have had to, even with all of this mana, he wouldn't have been able to attack with 1 creature, let alone the amount that he would need to actually do any damage to me. And even if he did deal damage, we would have the 900 health, so... Yeah. The game says we drew, but let's be honest, if it was like a sort of a real life, if we were doing that with paper, then, we would probably say, yeah, I would win. Because he's not going to come back from that, if we're being honest. Even then, we didn't do hardly... I don't think we did anything towards either of those fucking quests. Oh well.